my beautiful budding bakers, what a glorious morning it is today. I can hear the birds chirping and singing. It's Monday. We have got Groundhog Day. I'm back again. Now, this morning what I'm going to do is, my children are eating me out of house and home, and I'm not joking when I say I have the remnants left of what's in my fridge, so I have to go shopping. But I do have my container of puff pastry. So today we are doing treats with puff pastry. Now, I have my puff pastry. It comes in a rectangle, oblong shape, but I'm gonna go crazy this morning. We're using our pizza wheel. I have cut all the way through the pastry, and I've had two separate sheets of puff pastry, two oblong strips, and I have created this morning, zoom in there Lucy, some lovely delicious Nutella bites. Now, for those who are completely sick of chocolate, who could be sick of chocolate? I did a tiny bit of Nutella, and I did bake stable chocolate chips, but now I'm going to do some savoury ones. Every time I'm doing puff pastry, I tend to go big or go home, so I've decided with portion control to do little bites. Little bites are so yummy, because you can have a cup of coffee and some little treat. Everything in moderation. So I'm starting with my pizza wheel and my knife. I am scoring all the way across, almost like bunting. All the way across, and then do my juice. And I'm going to follow with my pizza wheel. So I'm going to end up with triangles. Now I will have to put my in denial glasses on because I can't see the bird without them. So I have got my triangles cut like so. And I shall take one triangle. In fact, I shall take two triangles. I will move my pastry to the side, and I'll get my little baby bunny pin. And I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit, not too much, but just a little. Now, ingredients wise, I'm not joking, as I mentioned, I had a little bit of chicken left. I had chorizo left. I have little piece of ham left. I have got chocolate. Don't worry, I'm not putting the chocolate with the ham. I've got passata. I've got barbecue sauce. So, starting with a tiny bit of my barbecue sauce, I am putting a little bit onto my puff pastry. Now, I don't want too much because I don't want it oozing out over the side. And we get our chicken. And dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Ta-dum, ta-da-dum, a little bit of chicken. Bok, 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 bok. Now I'm starting with some passata. And again, all the way. Not quite all the way, but just enough to give it some flavor. Okay, and all the way down, and all the way down. And back again, and a tiny bit of a chorizo. Now, I've cut up the tiny pieces of chorizo, because what you don't want is a gob full of chorizo, and as you're biting it, and it goes, wow. Fine with cheese, but you want the chorizo into tiny little pieces, because it just makes it easier and more elegant to eat, darling. Tiny bit. Now, I'm doing a bland cheese. Very little. You don't really taste this. Well, you do. But what I mean is for kids, they don't say, oh, I don't like cheese. I don't like cheese. Is there cheese in that? These are yummy. And I'm just going to roll with it. And I'm going to roll. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. I'm still missing my Anna from Spain. We're loving you, Anna. Missing you. Move that to the side. Now, we need a little bit of egg wash. A little bit of egg wash. And we're just going to brush the outside of our little puff pastry. These are fab for kids at lunchtime because they're like little puff pastry pizza wheels. Try saying that after a few gins. Puff pastry wheels. And then you've got your chicken and your barbecue sauce, which is again scrumdiddlyumptious. I'll just put them on the tray. Now, the beauty about doing something like this as well, these are fabulous if you're having a dinner party and you want to have a few nibbles on the go. Because just like this, you make 9. So you have got 9 little bites, and then the other strip is 9. So you've got 18 variety of yummy. You could nearly play Russian roulette. Who's got the Nutella one? Who's got the chorizo? Mix them all up. Nobody would know the difference. So again, we're going to do some ham this time. Again, with a tiny bit of passata. They look like teeth. They look like fangs. Fangs a lot. Do another one because these are actually yummy. Yum, yum, yum. I had a fantastic story from Ali, a friend of mine, which I just thought was fantastic. I have to tell you about teeth, and that it's about the tooth fairy. Now, you know how wonderful the tooth fairy is. So the tooth fairy is very clever and not stupid. So one evening, little boy had a lost tooth, a loose tooth, and out came the loose tooth, and he put it under his pillow. Following day, kaboom! He got some money under his pillow because it was a beautiful shiny tooth. But he also had a beautiful dog. This is honestly a true story. This beautiful dog also lost a tooth, except this tooth was huge. So the boy in his wisdom said, I shall put this under my pillow and get loads of money because this is a seriously lovely tooth. Following morning, he wakes up all excited looking for this big huge €5 or €10 because it was a big tooth. And what did he get? A dog biscuit. Don't you just love it? So tooth fairies out there, very, very clever. So don't ever try and swindle a tooth fairy. They always know best. So I'm putting a tiny bit of ham onto my little triangle pieces. Now, if you did want these little pieces to rise up, you can score about ½ an inch from the diameter of your triangle, and almost like a vol au vent, it'll push up and you've got your filling in the center. But I love them rolled up. So if you roll, you have got your ham, your cheese, your passata. And don't go bananas with your filling, because as you can see, it's sort of squirting out everywhere. And then we do a bit of a glaze. You could sprinkle with sesame seeds, poppy seeds, you name it. And even with the sweet, because I'm going to show you how easy the sweet one, because this is rather scrummy. So you've got your ham, you've got your chorizo. Get another 2. Move this to the side. I love having puff pastry in my fridge ready to rock and roll. Clear the decks just a bit. Clean as you go, clean as you go. We won't need our cheese. And we do our last little one. So you're not going to lose the will to live this morning being on 20 minutes with Trish. We have got Easter Monday. So this is Nutella or a hazelnut spread, which my super-in-law buys because I don't. So the only time I have my Nutella in the house is when super grannies come and treat the kids. So again, I am smearing my Nutella. And one of the things as well, just to bear in mind, I've got these tiny little chocolate chips, which are yummy for chocolate muffins or anything like that. But when you're putting them into something like this, and it's going into a very hot oven. So this is at 220 for about 15-20 minutes. One of the things you have to bear in mind is these are bake stable chocolate chips. If you were to put chopped up Cadbury's chocolate or anything like that into something, puff pastry that takes 15 minutes in the oven, your chocolate will burn. So don't have your chocolate burn, but what you could do is when they do come out of the oven, you could dip them into melted chocolate and leave them set. That would be rather delicious. Now, the other thing as well to bear in mind when you're doing these little roll-ups is when you're using the egg wash, you're also tucking underneath that little triangle to seal it, because you don't want the puff pastry to give you an obscene gesture first thing in the morning, because it'll stand to attention. So we have got our little Nutella. 1, 2. And then these are, I call them little puff pastry crescents. If you do want, you can bend them into a C to almost give the illusion that you have got your mini croissant. But to be honest, they're too good. When they come out of the oven, they explode anyway. So these are scrumdiddlyumptious. Lucy can zoom in just to show. And I'll pick one up. You have got, can you hear, crunch, crunch, that gorgeous puff pastry filled with your Nutella, sprinkled with icing sugar, can be dipped with chocolate, which is absolutely yummy. Or you've got a variety of ham or chicken. You could do vegetarian fillings. You could do samosa type fillings in them. Wrap them up. Just make sure your fillings are relatively dry, like a paste. Instead of your barbecue, instead of your passata, do pesto. Pesto is beautiful. You could do a tiny bit of cranberry jelly. You can do Parma ham. You can do brie. You can do roll it up. The world is your oyster. Go crazy this morning. Nearly did, because it's Monday. Don't have the Monday blues. Just crack on in the kitchen. See you tomorrow then.